The election of Donald Trump. It's been at least a month. Many people are wondering what's going on. They're thinking to themselves, what's going to happen? Privately, I'm sure many Trump supporters are murmuring if they've just voted for a guy who's going to create a total clusterfuck of a situation, or is he basically going to actually make things better for the economy? And the ones who aren't, obviously, are basically white nationalists. And today, that's pretty much what we're going to talk about. How he has appointed a slew of his billionaire buddies to run his cabinet, including the CEO of ExxonMobil, not to mention Betsy DeVos, who is the brother of whose brother was the head of Blackwater. Blackwater is a private mercenary group that pretty much came about during the early 2000s as a private subcontractor for the Iraqi invasion. And they were known for creating death squads. Officially, they were disabling IEDs, but really what they were doing is they were slaughtering Iraqi civilians and many other known contingents of the Iraqi population, calling many of them terrorists. Obviously, because they were brown, Islamic, etc. Now, throughout the world, there are pretty much all over the world. They create false flag operations, death squads. They invite a greater police presence, military presence. They're there to do a lot of the black ops stuff for our government that our government does not officially recognize. Her being appointed as part of Trump's cabinet basically is telling a lot of people, is signaling to a lot of people that his main priority is going to be making sure there is, according to him, law and order. And law and order basically just means that there is going to be a greater police presence, a greater military presence. There may even be death squads in America. It's a possibility. That's what it's looking like. It has a lot to do with the border wall that he basically mentioned, and that border wall that he says that he's creating is primarily to gain control over the drug profits that are coming through the United States. A lot of Mexican drug lords are making way too much money. We have a lot of Latin American drug lords who are making way too much money. The Fast and the Furious that the Republicans were so furious about basically was cracking down on all those drug lords and easing up on their profits within the United States. Basically getting rid of the American control over that drug game. And it had a little bit more to also do with the fact that the United States was gaining control over certain segments of the drug creating population within the United States. Native people who are Americans, not necessarily Mexican. And so Trump wants to gain bigger, control, over that. He wants control over heroin, cocaine, marijuana that's coming through the border. Most of the drug money that basically flows throughout the country propels Wall Street. It's what gets elections going. It's what gets the economy going. When things go into a recession or depression, a lot of things that keep everything going is drug money. Most of the heroin now comes across the Mexican border, and a lot of that's affecting a lot of the Rust Belt states. And perhaps some of the people who voted for this were because they were in dire straits. But unfortunately, the same people that they brought in were the 9/11 people. And those same people made a lot of their money from drugs, and that's what they want. They want control over that. Reason why Romney himself was even able to run was because of drug money from heroin. He made a lot of money from heroin in Utah and in many other places. The whole immigration is a smokescreen for the not just the Mexicans that are coming across the border. That's just really what the media is saying. That's what a lot of the alternative media is saying. That's what Alex Jones Rents is saying. That's what Benjamin Fulford is saying. That's what a lot of the alternative media is saying. But what they're not saying is really the white contingent, white Europeans who came over from many other countries, not just Canada or Australia, but from European countries, England, France, Germany, many of the Eastern European countries. We have Austria, Czechoslovakia, Poland. We have the Ukraine, a lot of the Russian USSR republics who have come over here. And a lot of those people came over here during the George W. Bush years, during the Obama years when there was the recession. They blended in very well with the American population. They looked just like any normal American because obviously they were white, and they took a lot of jobs from Americans, and it was not really the Mexicans or any of the others. They took a lot of jobs because they looked American, and some of them were able to speak very good English, and the ones that didn't, obviously didn't really know what they were doing, but they were able to look like they were American, and that's really what some of them are furious about, and they may or may not know about it. But a huge portion of them are white nationalists, and they support that. They support that specifically and primarily. They helped Trump get elected. They helped 3+ million illegal votes to come in for Trump along the Rust Belt, Florida, and many of the other states. This group of white nationalists is not just because of Putin. It has a lot to do with what's happening right now with the Christian church. We have the Orthodox Christians, Eastern Orthodox, we have the Protestants, and we have the Catholics. And their goal primarily is not just a pseudo religion based upon white nationalism, which a lot of Christianity is, unfortunately, especially Protestant. But they want to create this hydra of this kind of European control over the world, and they want to do it just like Hitler. They want to use force. They want to use, things like Blackwater. They want to use a lot of false flags. They want to use a lot of this in order to get people to accept a boogeyman, an Islamic boogeyman. These were the same 9/11 people who got Trump in. They were the same people who did 9/11. They were also the same people who got Trump there, and they want to create a power structure where they are in control, and the currency is not in money. It's based upon race, and unfortunately, that's where we're at right now. This is the reason why Trump's attacking China. Putin was told by George W. Bush over more than 10 years ago to basically just keep going along with the Chinese, and we're gonna get you to come over here with your peoples, and we will create a greater control in terms of Christianity. That's exactly what's happening. We have people like Benjamin Fulford and Jeff Rents, and they saw a lot of the media basically starting to show the flaws, the Marxism of white nationalism, because obviously there's no spirituality to that at all whatsoever. It's basically just a materialistic construct based upon race and race alone, and they're basically the Marxists. We have a lot of conservatives who basically say that liberals are the Marxists, when in reality they are, because they do not believe in Christ at all, or else they would turn the other cheek. And if they did, they would understand that what they're doing is not exactly what Christ would believe in. He would obviously say to them that he does not believe in violence. He does not believe in this authority, this kind of thinking that they have. And this is the kind of mindset that we're in right now. We have white nationalists who are basically Nazis, getting Trump where he is, and a lot of them are trying to unify the church, but not in a good way. They're trying to unify the church in a way that is going to create a boogeyman, an Islamic boogeyman, because they want to create a rapture-like situation. They want to create an Armageddon-like situation. They want a civilizational warfare to occur. They want people to be divided by race. They want people to be divided by religion. They want people to be divided, and they don't want people to think. They want people to think, and they want to use fake news. They want to basically come across fake news and proliferate information that is obviously 1984 opposite to what it really is. They want to create scenarios where people are not able to understand. And this is where we're at. This is where we're at right now. We have a situation right now where there's something that just happened in Germany, where the Berlin Tunisian guy, more likely he's an intelligence operative, made to look like he's Tunisian, specifically for the purpose because what happened with Tunisia? Tunisia was basically one of the first successful democracies in the Middle East. So they want to bring down that situation where Tunisia is now thought of in a completely opposite way. They don't want, and by they, these are the white nationalists, people like Alex Jones, Jeff Rents, and Benjamin Fulford, many of their followers, many of their people, a lot of the fake news, a lot of the people who propelled Trump to get where he is, a lot of the immigrants, specifically from the European countries who are trying to unify the Christian church under a white nationalist way of thinking. This is not in any way American. This whole Trump situation, it never really was. The propaganda is totally different. The way, the style, the understanding of it, the use of words, the rhetoric. It mostly is very like Putin. It's very much like Putin. And now we're in a situation where there's going to be a lot of things happening. Trump is saying that he's going to impose tariffs on China, and that's exactly what's going to happen. This is exactly what George W. Bush told Putin. Basically, just keep China going, and we'll deal with them, and we'll make sure that you, along with the other white nationalists, at that time, George W. Bush and his people that he was with, the 9/11 people, we're going to be able to be in control of the world, and this is where they want. This is what they're going to do, and they want to put a stamp down on working people, people who just want normal lives, because they don't care about humanity. They're not interested in any of that, and they're gonna keep doing this, and it's not gonna stop. The only way it will stop is when people actually think and understand.